All right, welcome back. Another episode of Post-Fades Cheesesteaks, the special 50th episode. How about that? Did you think we would get here, Tim?
Not even a little bit. I honestly put a cap on this at like 5 episodes.
Five
So
episodes.
I'm amazed that we've gone this far, but it feels good. It's been a good ride along this journey.
Yeah, and so with that in mind, we kind of designed for this episode 50 to be kind of a look back at, some of the episodes we've done, our favorite moments, some of our favorite social media posts, our various, fashion week hairstyles. And, I had braids at one point. Tim had a disgusting mustache. We all,
I didn't crap on your braids. I don't know why you're coming at my mustache. I actually, it was nice. I liked looking back on our predictions and thinking like to see how well we did. I'm sticking to my guns, I think, on majority of the predictions. I think the worst I looked was the playoff run. Just picking against the Buccaneers pretty much every
yep.
game they played. That didn't look good. But ultimately, I think in the rankings and everything, I wasn't surprised by either. I wasn't disappointed with what I was saying. I still feel pretty strongly about most of our predictions, or mine at least. I don't know about your foolish stuff. I thought they were dumb at the time, and I still kind of think some of them are pretty dumb.
I think quite a few that we will get to as this episode goes on. Especially like you said, the Buccaneers and Tom Brady thing. I mean, we can play that clip in a bit, but I basically thought Tom Brady was not going to be a top 10 quarterback again. Thought he would be, decent with the Buccaneers, but that, I thought they would make the wild card and then lose. And then lo and behold, Brady had a good year. They won the Super Bowl. So
see, my doubts with the
took
Buccaneers.
A big shit on me.
But my thoughts with the Buccaneers were, more team oriented, mostly with Arians and Brady mending. You just went ahead and went against the GOAT, which just was stupid.
Well,
he's top 10 every year he's in the NFL. Easily, it's not even up for debate.
I was playing the whole "what have you done lately?" You guys kept harping on that, and last year Brady's last year as a Patriot was not good in my eyes, so that's why I kind of went along that lines. But let's just say for our next top 10 QB rankings, I think someone named Mr. Brady will be in it, and someone named Mr. Wentz will not. So
yeah, I would think so. That take aged as well as spoiled milk for you. So
yeah,
better luck next time.
But yeah, the first thing I would like to get to, and so for everyone listening via Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts, we also will have this up on YouTube, and that's where you'll be able to watch the actual clips. And right now, I'm going to bring up a little slideshow of some of our lovely facial and hairstyles. Yeah, so
we can see the evolution from prime pandemic looks when no haircuts and no shaving was happening to now where we are. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh boy! Wow.
Yeah.
I think that was the longest I've ever let my beard and my hair go.
Yeah, you were rocking it.
You look like you've aged a lot since that first picture. You look much older. Like
it's because it's the beard. The beard does a lot.
Jeez. Look at my beard. Literally took all of quarantine to grow.
So
in just that short period, look how far it's come.
So this was episode 1. This was our very first. This was like end of May or beginning of June. I don't remember, but yeah, my beard. I mean, I still was growing the hair out. My beard was very short. I usually by this, it's middle of April. I usually have it at that length. But with quarantine and I really don't need to look super presentable. So I pretty much just let it grow out, but I keep it clean. It's a nice looking longer beard, but
of course,
usually it gets warm and I have to cut it because it's sweaty. But you, on the other hand, you were full. I just went through COVID, caveman beard and long hair.
Listen, I was experimenting. I was experimenting with looks. This is probably one I won't be going back to. But it's experiment. You got to trial and error stuff.
You said I look like a different person. That doesn't even look like you.
Well, that's because I'm usually cleaned up and much better looking. But that was the darker days.
That was a good one. And then let's see so this was, I think, episode 2 or 3. Then you cleaned up a little bit. Got a little
the evolution. I think I watched the video you made after the first episode and I was disgusted, so I had to make an immediate change.
Yeah, I think this was the wide receiver episode. So it must have been episode 2. And this is where my evolution of my either wearing a hat or I almost always wore a hood. I feel like just because it was either nighttime, so it got chilly, or it was just cold during the winter. But
You're a man of
yeah,
mystery. You kept people guessing.
yeah. I mean, today I'm walking the man bun straight up, but
Look at you.
I've had the forward hat, the backward hat, hair down, backward hat, ponytail or bun, and but you cleaned up.
You,
You got a little bit of a haircut.
you
Still,
look like like a most wanted poster. Like you just have these like faint pictures of your face covered by different hats and hoods. The hair change keeps changing by the week and everything. You're a man of mystery.
man of mystery. That's how I like it. And then this was the glorious mustache.
That was my peak. I need to go back to that. That was the look that I think was rocking.
What was that? We hopped on with Josh for our, I believe it was DNs or edge rushers episode. And yeah, you popped on my screen with a curly hair and a mustache, and I was really thrown off.
I peaked with that mustache. That was my best version of myself.
The Ron Jeremy look.
You live and you learn. I think that was a complete success.
Would you grow it again?
I think so. I think I'd get more haters from outside than myself hating it, but keep people guessing.
No, it was entertaining for sure. And this is my Viking braids that I had for about
you know what, riffraff. That's who you are.
3 weeks. I don't like okay, but riffraff is kind of gross, so I don't like that comparison.
But it's the first person that pops into my head.
He's got the strangest fucking beard out, like layout. It's like zigzag.
If you got a lightning bolt beard, that would be a look for you.
And I would need grills and oversized.
Do you think you could get away with being riffraff for Halloween, or is it too far away from his, stardom that no one would have any idea who you are?
If I just wanted to destroy my facial hair and do that, yeah, I'm sure people would. I think for as shitty as his music is, and for as irrelevant as he is, he's still people like. If you say riffraff, people know who you're talking about. So, but yeah, the braids were fun.
He is an iconic look.
He is. Yeah, the braids were they were hard to sleep in for a couple days until you had to get used to. I don't know how like women who have braids or men who have like dreads or longer braids do it, because that was not that comfortable to sleep in, but they look cool, so that's all that mattered.
You know what, you put the sacrifice in.
Yeah. And then I grew my own mustache out for
that, you look like a little correlate cue. Like you look like you should be twirling that thing at the end.
Yeah, you actually look pretty I mean, you kind of look like you're gonna mug someone in that picture, but you had the clean.
Look at you. Your hood is up in the middle of the house.
You look
like the Unabomber.
You had the short beard, the short hair, clean look. I had the homeless hoodie on with that I could curl that mustache. I think, what was it? I started growing that from August to like November. I didn't shave I didn't like even trim my mustache. I just kept curling it outwards, and it got thick.
You're a hipster Unabomber. That's what I'm looking at right now.
I just wanted to see how it would go, and then ultimately the mustache just would get in the way of eating food. I don't know how people do. Like, I've always had a beard since I think 12th grade, but I don't know how people have those thick ass mustaches, because they're old. Like, you can brush them away as much as you want. You cannot eat like a barbecue sandwich, like someone messy, without getting it all over the place. So I don't know, but
Mr. Monopoly looking dude over here.
Yeah, and then this was then you went clean. You've had your clean shaven days,
Yeah, doing well.
And then again,
this is where you took a turn. You got full scruff now.
Full scruff, the hair flowing out the back, hat backwards,
lion mane,
back and forth with we both do the back and forth with our glasses on too.
Well, I usually run out of contacts, so that's usually when I have the glasses on.
I just choose whether to be blind or to look presentable and see.
Fair enough.
This again, just with the backwards hat with the bun, or hair
Is this your
down.
Tinder profile? Like all these pictures coming from your Tinder profile? We got like every evolution of Dakota here. Are you like
No,
you're like, hey,
I would
swipe
never
right or
put these
left
on
on
there.
whichever? Yeah. Which one do you like? I have many different versions of Dakotas.
I probably do. I haven't checked in a while, but I probably do have different beard lengths on my dating
You
app
kind of look like
profiles.
this one on the left with the blue hat. If you had glasses on, you kind of look like Dustin Diamond. You know, R.I.P. Screech. That's the vibe I'm getting there. It's like the Dustin Diamond beard.
Fair enough. And I think that was it. Oh, and then we had Seth.
Oh,
So
beautiful. That's the best dressed guest we've had.
Seth, yeah, his episode was fun. I was so unprepared. I did not know. You just told me, hey, my buddy Seth's gonna come on. We're gonna talk Bengals, and I was like, why the hell are we talking about the Bengals? But I was like, all
It was
right,
a good
that's
week to
fine.
talk Bengals, though. I'm pretty sure they won that week.
I think they did, yeah. And obviously he was wearing his was it Joey Bengal outfit
Joey Bengal.
with the Carol Baskins and everything.
Good stuff, baby.
Which that is that's a nice segue into our I think our first clip. Basically, like I said, Seth came on episode 25 and looked like he had a green screen in the back that looked like he was sitting in a jail cell.
He really went all out. He
went,
set the bar for guests, to be honest. You know, we had him on later in the year for guests. We should have started with him because he set the bar pretty high. Shout out any other guests we bring on from now on because that is the bar you're being measured against.
Yeah, he did phenomenal job. And he actually he talked for like 5 minutes of just like this crazy monologue of like Carol Baskins.
Never left character. It was beautiful.
It was like Carol Baskins is the reason that the Cincinnati Bengals are failing, or something along those lines.
He came more prepared than I've ever seen you come to any of these episodes with you forgetting the episode number every other time. So I was impressed.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna roll that clip right now, and like I said, about 5 minutes. So just have a listen and enjoy.
It is a great week for the Bengal Joe to come on and talk about his Bengals. Fight Tigers fight, right? Look at him, the guy with the shirt. It looks like he's a part of the team.
It does look.
Ian Carlos Dunlop.
Yeah.
R.I.P. No, Dunlop's not there anymore. He left. He used to be a guy. You got Joey Bengal and Joey Burrow.
Joey Burrow.
Absolutely. If I may talk.
Go ahead, please.
Start it off.
Joey Bengal, baby.
Doing a lot of research in my cell. And both times that the Bengals have scored more points than the other team, they have won. That is a fact.
You're not wrong.
Usually that is a key to success, scoring more points.
Bigger fact, and here it comes. Since 2000, there have been 11 NFL games to end in a tie. Bengals, 4 of them. Tie, Tiger. Why I feel so strongly about the Bengals as the Tiger King goes past just their name and colors. If you would know, their starting quarterback, Joseph Burrow, out of LSU, the Tigers.
Oh.
He calls himself the Tiger King. I don't like it, but, I mean, he's kind of done some of it, and it is what it is.
I mean, hey, Tiger King, we can have a Tiger Prince. There could be a Prince of the Tigers. Yeah.
My Tiger Prince is my husband, whose name I definitely remember. Back to Carlos Dunlop.
Killed himself.
Carlos Dunlop.
Okay.
Left the Bengals, demanded a trade.
It's true.
Not a part of the Cat Pack. Where did he go to college? Florida. Where's Big Cat Rescue and Carol Baskin? Also in Florida. And that segues very easily into a positive thing about the Bengals, and that is John Ross, their very fast wide receiver, 4.22 40. Some say he's as fast as a cheetah. Cheetah, big cat, tiger. You're seeing a trend here.
It's like the cousin of a tiger. They're like
Could be.
family.
Who knows?
Are we playing Clue? What is going on here?
Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket. Red, sometimes Tigers are red.
It's true. Yeah.
To the Cowboys, CB, Carol Baskin, got a concussion, also starts with a C, and now COVID, also with a C. I can't have a hat on because I have a mullet, but I'm definitely on something.
You know what? Throw chlamydia in there. All the C's are bad. C's have never been good.
Bad.
Yeah, they're terrible things.
Another word that has a C in it, Zach Taylor, the coach of the Bengals. Named after Zachary Taylor, the 12th president of the United States of America, died in 1849 from cholera, also starts with a C.
Wow.
Carol Baskin is single-handedly sabotaging the Bengals. Now, I know they had a very nice win over the Titans, but I don't think we should look too far into that. The Titans play in Nashville, which is only 3 hours away on Interstate 40 to Knoxville. Knoxville has a zoo that has tigers in it. The tigers just tested positive for coronavirus this past week. That is a true thing. You can look it up.
Tigers can get corona?
They're coming after us. I think somebody intentionally tried to sabotage the Bengals through tigers, knowing they'd feel sympathetic. I know I would.
Joey Bengal, that is something to worry about. Now, if corona is starting to affect your tigers there, now that is something I'd get up in arms about.
I mean, what can we say? What can we say?
I love, honestly, the fact that you did the research on election night on the 12th president of the United States and found out his disease that he died from. Very impressed. You did your research. You must have been in solitary or something in prison, because I was impressed by that.
Prison's for everyone, but not really. And I didn't do it. I definitely didn't do it. There was not a full documentary documenting everything I did that I still didn't do.
It's true. Hey, man, innocent until, you say you're not.
Tim, you invite guests on who come more prepared than you do and drop all this knowledge. So now you got a lot to live up to.
Excuse me, guy. You don't even have your camera working yet, talking about not coming prepared. I have my camera on, and I have my facts. Where are you
don't
at?
Like that your camera's on, though.
Yeah, where are you? Is this like, did something go horrifically wrong when you cut the Viking braids off? Is that what we're dealing with? Do you have some horrific haircut that you don't want to show to us?
Oh, I didn't get a haircut. I just took the braids out. My hair is still here.
That's disgusting. Even worse. If you're not going to cut it, then leave them in the braids.
Oh, my God.
I got to say, you both had the best Halloween costumes that I saw. Well, between the Post Malone and the Joey Bengal, I was very from everything I saw online, people I saw in person, you two had the best costumes.
Shucks.
Thank you. I was also a big fan of the Post Malone costume. If I had long hair, I would absolutely grow it out and always wear braids.
The braids and the mustache. The mustache is beautiful. The handlebar and the braids were both very good. Those were, I think, the deciding factors in it for me, and I love them both. And I love that mustache is still rocking on you, Seth. It's a good.
Yeah,
look.
you guys record this on Tuesdays, not I voted with it today, and I would also like to say that I'm pretty sure I am the only person in the country with a handlebar mustache that didn't vote for Trump.
I was going to say, yeah.
But there cannot be many people.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that little snippet of Joey Bengal talking Bengals facts and presidential facts and Florida things.
Reliving great memories. Great memories. Now, you know what? I got to say, since we're now on 50th episode, it's amazing. You got to look back at the roots. The first episode, honestly, after that first one we did, and me completely forgetting an easy top 3, top 2, whatever you want to put him in, D-tackle, one of the most dominant defenders in the league when we did our first rankings. I had little hope or little faith that this was going to go much further. Obviously, me forgetting Chris Jones made me look pretty stupid, because you know what's sad is I put a good amount of time and research into creating that list, and I completely forgot about it in general. So, yeah, you opening my eyes to my misstep really blew out my confidence. But we got better, much better as it went on.
It was for most of our top 10 player rankings for 2020, we had a pretty consensus like top 3 for most of them, I would say. And then there were always a couple where either you or me were just way out of left field, and
mostly you.
No, it was mostly you. But I remember the Chris Jones bit. We got to number 3. And I forget who you said. You said the guy who got traded to the Colts.
Buckner.
Yeah, you said Buckner was number 3, and I was like, wait, but then you're missing one of the top 3. And what was like Cox, Donald, and then Chris Jones, and I was like, who did he? There's no way he left off Aaron Donald, and as an Eagles fan, there's no way he left off Fletcher Cox. I was like, did he forget about Chris Jones? But
he won the Super Bowl like 4 months earlier.
Yeah, quite hilarious.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I'm stunned that we made it to 50. Clearly, and it's just like, because with the whole pandemic and I wasn't doing anything, I put a lot of time and effort into all those lists, and it just really made me feel like a complete idiot that how much time I actually put into it and still never realized it.
Yeah. But with that being said, let's play you a lovely little snippet of Tim being a fool. Enjoy. All right. This is where I think we only have 3 names left, so I'm guessing.
This is what I'm trying to figure out because my next one is DeForest Buckner, and I think you're foolish.
Oh, wait.
You're foolish.
So you're missing someone then? Interesting.
No, you have someone that shouldn't be there.
So I have Chris Jones from the Chiefs. Did you forget about him? He plays D tackle. He is a monster.
Is he a D tackle or is he a DN? He's like the 3-4 guy.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He like moves around. But I had him as D tackle because that's where his position was listed.
All right. I may have forgotten one. So, you caught me off guard here. I would actually, if I had to off the top of my head, I would probably put Chris Jones as 3 and bump everyone down. And Akeem Hicks gets kicked out.
Yeah.
I did forget about him. Damn, there goes my credibility.
I mean, he was one of the reasons they won that Super Bowl.
Honestly, the fact is, I spent so much time on the DNs because there were so many DMs to sort through. I didn't put much into D tackles, I guess, to forget a Super Bowl winning champion.
All right, I hope you enjoyed Tim being an idiot. Now I think it's my turn to be an idiot. So fresh off that episode, we had episode 2, which was our wide receiver rankings, and I was very, very adamant at the time about my defense for OBJ as a top 5 wide receiver.
Yep. Foolishly.
So I had Odell Beckham Jr. at number 5 of
brutal.
top 10 wide receivers, which looking back, probably, honestly, if he would have stayed healthy this year, maybe he could have deserved to be back in top 10.
Yeah, maybe. This sounds like an argument everyone makes about the last 3 years of his career, though.
But I think I was wrong. Probably. I think he was still top 10 coming into the season, but maybe not 5, maybe like 9, 8. But go ahead, Tim. What did you think of my take?
I still will fight anyone on this. He's easily the most overrated player in the NFL. For some reason, the NFL is, not for a long league. People forget what you did very often. It's what you did for me lately. This guy's getting off with what he's done 3 years ago, and he's making a whole career out of it. It's mind-blowing, but I will fight anyone on this argument. I stick to it until he proves me otherwise. I know that he is not a top 5 wide receiver.
So going into
off name, sure. Yeah, off name and distractions, then top 5, but no production.
So off the dome right now, going into the 2021 season, where does he fit in your wide receiver ranking?
Like you said, he didn't do anything last year to prove that he's a top 10 wide receiver. Did he do anything to improve your ranking? He definitely didn't do anything to improve my ranking. I'll admit that I know the Kenny Golladay was my 10, and that was the guy that was, the biggest stretch over him. And I'll admit he had a bad year. He was also injured. But I still can't find a reason to put him in the top 10. He did nothing to improve his rankings in my book this year. He just continued to be vastly overrated, like I've been saying he is. So off time of dome, I would say he's still out of the top 10, but we'll get to that, later in the summer.
I think he started off, I think his first game or 2 were kind of slow. And then he had like 3 games in a row, I think, that were really good. Like, especially I had him in fantasy. And he did wonders for me for a couple games. And then he got hurt. I think he tore his ACL, right?
I believe, yeah.
And then was out for the year. But I mean, Cleveland was using it, like Stefanski was using it for everything, like running the ball, reverses, throwing the ball. Like, they finally used him for what he's meant to be used as a all-around playmaker. So I think going into this year, there's definitely a potential for him to be up there, but I don't think I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt again. He might make top 10. It depends. I'd have to look at, like, he would be very back end, like 10, 9, 8. But I'd have to look at who the other receivers are first and go from there.
Listen, it comes down to the 3 metrics that I preached when we were doing all these rankings, and I'll preach again this summer. It's last year, next year, and if I was starting my team. And didn't do anything last year. Next year, we'll see. But if I'm starting a team, he just had another serious injury. Why is that going to help his rankings? So I'm sticking to my guns on that one. Not top 10.
But I'll give you guys a little snippet into my lovely debate with Tim about OBJ, and I think I tried to say that he was better than Mike Evans, but
Oh, oof. God, I
take-
love when those snippets there.
Take
Beautiful.
a listen. But at number 5, I had OBJ.
Okay. I'll just say I don't even have OBJ in my top 10.
Ooh,
He's not done
that's
anything in a
mistake.
while.
Oh my God. I didn't even like him on the Giants, and I've become a fan of him since he's not, an enemy.
Listen, he's a talent, but what has he actually done?
Stop.
Has been terrible. He
So
hasn't been on a good team.
So you said last year he had a bad year, you would say, correct?
He didn't have a bad year. I correct myself. I'm looking back at his numbers. He didn't have a bad year.
No, but that's the thing.
Year, I should
that's
say.
the thing.
Disappointing year.
Disappointing, yes.
Yeah.
But everyone says, oh, he had a really down year, really not out of character year. Out of character. He had 74 catches, 1,000 yards. Yeah, only 4 touchdowns. But like any receiver who gets 1,000 yards and 70 catches in a season is not bad.
So here I counter argue with you because you just said those numbers. Amari Cooper, 79 receptions, 1,189 yards, and 8 touchdowns, much better than OBJ's number. Now, if you talk about consistency, Amari Cooper is the picture of consistency. In 1 bad year out of 5. He's been to the playoffs. He did it on 2 different teams. OBJ hasn't done shit. His teams haven't won.
What?
The Giants have been terrible for most of his career, and the Browns haven't done anything.
He had Eli Manning. Dak Prescott's better than Eli Manning.
He had Eli Manning, who made him a superstar.
Dude, his rookie year, 1,300 yards. His second year, 1,400 yards. His third year, 1,300 yards. His fourth year, he was hurt. He played 4 games, had 300 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Then 1,000 yards. This last year with the Giants. 1,000 yards with Cleveland. Those first 3 years are crazy good.
So here,
And then he was hurt, and then he's on a new team with Baker Mayfield and a coach who didn't know how to play an offense.
You've been preaching about consistency, and
that is consistency.
You're talking about a guy who has 14, 15, and 16. He's a talented player. He's a top 10 wide receiver when he's got his whole thing going on. Other people have gotten better than him. I truly think that the days of when it was just Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, OBJ, everyone else, I think the wide receivers have gotten a lot better. Like the younger ones have really stepped up. So for him, he hasn't taken the step up like everyone else. If you compare him to like Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, these kind of wide receivers, he's kind of fallen off. Everyone kept on getting better where he kind of took the dip.
Oh, I do not agree. You're telling me if you were handed fully healthy Odell Beckham Jr. and a fully healthy Amari Cooper, you would take Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
You're on crack.
Not in the top 10. He needs to get his shit together. I think that I do see him this year as a good year for him, a bounce back year.
Your whole list is just not valid that you don't have OBJ in the top 10.
You know what? This is a little biased. I'm not gonna lie. I am a little biased about OBJ. But if you're comparing this year, I could easily think of 10 wide receivers that had a better year.
We're going into 2020. We're looking at who are the best receivers.
Yeah, so I think
OBJ is not one of the 10 best.
I feel more confident in Kenny Golladay and Chris Godwin having a better year next year than OBJ. Give Kenny Golladay a happy Matthew Stafford. Give Chris Godwin, another year in the stacked offense with Tom Brady now and Gronk joining the fold. They'll be okay.
So I just want to my last point on OBJ before I throw my computer at you. I just want to look at OBJ and Cooper side to side here.
Not excited.
So rookie years, OBJ 1,300 yards, Cooper 1,070 yards.
Okay.
Year after, we had OBJ 1,400 yards, Cooper 1,100 yards.
You're looking at only yards. What about touchdowns?
All right, touchdowns. Yep. Let's see. OBJ had 12 touchdowns.
Okay.
Cooper had 6.
Okay.
Then OBJ had 13. Cooper had 5.
Okay.
Then OBJ had 10. Then Cooper had 7.
Okay.
So he dropped off. Then he went 3, 6, and 4. Cooper went 7, 6, 1, 8. But if you look at year to year,
wait, 1? You did not have 1.
Yeah. No, that was in Oakland. So 7, 7, 8.
Yeah.
He played in 4 games, had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. in the year he got hurt. Then the next year, played in 12 games, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. 12 games. What do you mean? Nah.
I don't know.
I just think you don't like him. I think that's what it is.
I just think that like he was amazing the first 3 years, and the last 3 years he really hasn't done anything.
I wouldn't say
special.
I would agree that he's dropped off.
I agree that he was a top 3 wide receiver the first 3 years of his career. The last 3, it's outside the top 10 for me. I just think that people are still high on his first 3 years in the league, and he's steadily declined since then.
I don't know if 1,000 yards is steadily declining, but
okay. They'll decline from what he was doing the first 3 years.
In a bad Cleveland year, he had almost 1,200 yards and 80 catches. So, or no, that was Cooper. I just cut him down, but he still had over 1,000. So I mean, I'm not.
Don't worry, no, his stats.
If he has another year
Cooper
like
had
that,
had better stats last year, every single category.
Who?
Cooper.
That was 1 year.
It was the most recent year.
So.
See, this is the OBJ problem. Is you're talking about OBJ from 2015?
No, I'm not.
I haven't seen him in 5 years.
Ever since he left, once he left the Giants, yes, that 1 year was not his best. He disappeared, and he was still but he was hurt. He had that toe problem or whatever it was, and he still had 1,000 yards. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if he does that again, though, like if he has another year where it's like 2 touchdowns, 1,000 yards, then yeah, I'll agree with you that he's not top 5 anymore. But until I see it happen like regularly, then he's still top 5.
See, I like the top people, 10 people I have. Like, he's right there. He's like at 11.
Oh my god.
He's just not there. Right?
Who's your 5? Just move on. All right. I hope you enjoyed me being an OBJ fanboy for a little bit there, which is shocking because he was a former Giant. But
it was super cute watching over again.
Hey, I have an OBJ Cleveland jersey, so that's kind of cool.
You did.
But moving on, so you can kind of get the theme here that for Tim and I, at least, doing these top 10 player episodes were a lot of fun, mostly because, we had a lot to argue about and laugh and stuff like that. But, I would say about half of our videos, the reason we got to 50 is because we were doing weekly recaps of what was going on in the NFL every week, like winners and losers, power rankings, how the Eagles did, players, stats, and stuff like that. So these were a bit different. And for that reason, they were a little more interesting at times. One of my worst hot takes was, like I said earlier, the no love for Tom Brady. I did not have him in my top 10 quarterbacks. I believe I claimed that he would have been 11th. But yeah, like I said earlier,
you digging yourself out of the hole. That was just you digging yourself out of the hole.
Yeah.
Like, I need a panic. They didn't agree. Let me put him at 11.
No, and I'm sure Nick is listening to this too, and he was I think he had Tom Brady at 6. I mean, you weren't that much better. You had him at like 10 or 9. But
you know what? Top 10 is better than not top 10.
Right, fair enough. But yeah, he was grilling me on it too, and I mean, like I said, I really just looked at it. He's going into a new system. He was going to a new system with Bruce Arians, who likes to throw a deep ball. Brady's older. He, his last few years at New England was a lot of the quick release, short throws to people like Edelman, who just retired. And I just didn't know how it was going to go. It was really just me saying, I think he'll do fine. I don't think he'll be elite again. And you go and win a Super Bowl in your first year with a new team, you're doing something right. So
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. Another thing that was funny about this episode was we had started talking, started our debates, and I had forgot to start recording. So I put in a very poorly hummed Star Wars theme song to kind of catch people up, if you remember that. So that was, like I said, we had a little bit of fun with these episodes. So here's a little clip of me and my foolishness on Tom Brady. Enjoy. Bow, bow, bum, 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 bow, bow, bum, 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 bow, bow, bum, 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 bow.
Next year.
So this is where I stir the pot.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Jesus, good. Here we
Tom
Matt
Brady.
Trubisky.
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Okay.
Correct.
I didn't know
But he is no longer a top 10 quarterback.
Listen, I put him in the top
Not
10.
in the top 10?
Nope.
I didn't want to put him in the top 10 either. I put him there on I thought I was bad at 10.
What?
I didn't want to. He doesn't have it anymore. Nothing last year showed me he had it. And
he's been going down and down. He's like, what, 43 now? Never seen him in a different offense than the Patriots offense and Bill Belichick. So we'll see what happens. But
yeah, he was in the Pro Bowl 2 years ago, and you don't have him in the top 10. So that makes me a little skeptical of how.
On name alone. On name
Tom Brady
alone.
could not even. He could be injured the entire year and would still get voted to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Who did he throw to last year?
Listen, his boy was there. Edelman was there the whole season. He didn't go anywhere.
That's the one
he
thing.
Played hurt, and they did pretty well. They put up good numbers. Him and Edelman weren't the problem. They had nobody else.
If you think, even the year before that, when they won the Super Bowl, Tom Brady was not the lead in that offense. They were running the ball all day. They were running with Sony Michel. They were running with James White. They were just running the ball. Belichick knows what he's doing. He lets everyone leave when they've got nothing left. And I don't think he made a mistake when letting Brady leave again.
I don't know. If you're gonna go into a season and say that there's 10 quarterbacks you'd rather have under center this year, I'm from New England and I hate the Patriots more than any team there is, but my goodness, I mean, to have him under center in the fourth quarter and not to have him in the top 10, that hurts.
My thing is like he just Arians' system won't max really. It's not like all right. Michael Thomas runs slants and catches balls. Godwin and Evans like to get downfield and go up and get it. And Arians loves to push him downfield. This guy, you could contribute. You could say that, Arians is partially the reason that Andrew Luck retired early. The guy was getting murdered when he was the coordinator when he took over the team when Pagano had cancer. Then when he had Ben, when he had Palmer, when he had Winston, all the consistency is his quarterback consistently gets hit because they hold the ball too long. And he's just trying to throw it downfield every time. And I could not think of a system that doesn't fit Tom Brady in his old age worse than that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree that I agree in the notion that Arians is we got to risk it to get the biscuit. He's all deep balls, which is going to be a big compromise. But man, what Tom Brady also loves is his tight ends, and he's got 3 of them down there. The guy's got 3 tight ends, and he loves the tight ends. Boy, does he love them. I think he's going to find his ways to go into his office with Bruce and be like, Bruce, I need some more tight end seams. And guess what? If he's only getting a couple of those with Howard and Braid and Gronk, it's all the guy needs. It's all he's going to need.
I mean, do I think they'll adjust? I think they'll meet in the middle. I'm curious to see where that middle is. Is it more Brady or is it more Arians? Because I think the Tampa Bay offense suits Arians' offense. The Buccaneers were 4th in points scored last year, and that was with their quarterback throwing 30 interceptions the entire year. I know Arians is smart, and you went and got Brady for a reason, and I understand if they got to the playoffs, I wouldn't want any quarterback besides Brady in those moments. But, man, he's going to get – if he runs the same offense Arians always runs, Brady is not going to make it to the playoffs.
I'll just say I've always defended – back when it was Brady and Manning playing, I always defended Brady as being the better quarterback because of his lack of weapons. Like, all throughout his early years, he really had – like, Deion Branch was his best receiver. Like, he always got it done. And if you look at the last few years, he's needed help. The Patriots always are trying to trade. They had that Josh Gordon experiment. I mean, they had Randy Moss for a little bit when Brady was still in his prime. I just feel like they were so flat in the playoffs this past year. Like, they just did not look like the normal Patriots. Brady didn't look like himself this year. He's still like 11 or 12 in this top quarterback list, but I think at his age, you can see how he's slowly regressing. So,
my main thing is I don't see the Tampa Bay connection yet. We'll see where they meet and we'll see what happens. But I don't think it's the right offense for him. The 30 interceptions is ridiculous, and you could not pick 2 different quarterbacks than Winston and Brady. But I still think a quarterback like Winston would fit better in this system. But, I'm not going to kill the guy. He made my top 10. I'm not ludicrous like you. He made my top 10.
Now that I'm looking at my number 10, I feel like I'm gonna sound a little ridiculous.
Oh god.
All right, and like I said, I was kind of foolish. Not kind of, very.
Yeah.
So shout out Tom Brady. I'm sure you're not listening to this episode or ever will, but
actually,
I'm
I think
sorry.
he used. I think he mentioned this in his Super Bowl MVP speech. He used your top 10 rankings as fuel. Yeah.
Yeah. That damn Dakota will amount to nothing now, and I will win a Super Bowl. Something along those lines.
Yeah, he took it real personal. He's dissing on your beard, your hair, all. It was brutal.
So another fun one we did was episode 7, where we brought your brother Mark on to talk top 10 safeties for the season, and he, I think it was you were talking about McCourty and the Patriots defense, and Mark was sitting outside, and all of a sudden we just hear like a, and it sounded like he was like at an F1 track or like at a NASCAR event, and we all just like stopped what we were doing and like we're like, dude, what's going on? Where are you? Are you sitting in the middle of the highway? Like, what? You were thrown off because you were trying to educate us, quote unquote, and you were just like, what? Who's stealing my thunder?
Speaking from like visiting his place, I like that. They had to have been pulled over speeding or killed someone. It's not a place to be speeding and going fast. I assume that he, set that up to cover up my correct takes.
But yeah, here's a short clip on that soundbite.
Defense that allowed 13 passing touchdowns while also having 25 interceptions. Is the
Are you sitting on the highway, Mark?
Nah, I'm kind of close to the highway. I was gonna say I just missed like the second half of your sentence completely.
Yeah, I don't know what he was gonna say.
So let me go back to what I was saying.
It wasn't important anyway.
Yeah, probably not.
So as I was saying, you factor in the 3 factors. Last year with Devin McCourty, obviously 5 interceptions, second most in the NFL, tied for second most in the NFL. His overall defense, the 2019 Patriots defense was record-setting. They gave up 13 passing touchdowns and had 25 interceptions. That's almost a 2-to-1 ratio. That's disgusting.
Another fun part of that episode was a little later on, where I had a very different number 3 safety than the rest of Mark and Tim's opinion. I was very, very high, and I'm still like, I think he had a down year this year, but he's still a very good safety. Kevin Byard, I had him at number 3 of the Texans, and Tim and Mark were not having it. They were very confused.
Well, correctly not having it.
Very, very thrown off. And the best part is I gave probably like a minute or 2 defense for my answer. And I believe what happened was my cat was climbing on top of like my fireplace, and he was about to knock something over. So I immediately jumped off the couch and like walked over. And then you and Mark didn't even notice I left until you turned. And you're like, wait, he just says Kevin Byard's number 3, mic drops and walks away. Like, and so when I came back, and then after when I recorded, when I was editing it, it was funny to hear you guys talk when I was gone about how ridiculous it was. But
pretty ridiculous.
Let me play the clip for you. Here you go.
Honestly, I'm just losing myself with excitement, waiting for the idiot that is in top 3. Who is it? I have no idea who it is.
Number 3.
I have no idea who it is.
So yeah, my number 3. You guys, you'll love to talk about your interceptions for safeties, which I think interceptions are more important stat for cornerbacks because they're one-on-one with someone usually, and safeties oftentimes are just
debatable. Center field, go get the ball. But go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like safety is more of a ball hawk type position.
I agree.
Regardless,
cornerbacks, you don't throw on them; they don't get interceptions. Safeties go get the ball.
Ball hawks,
cornerbacks more pass deflections and like don't throw to them in general.
Don't worry, Mark. Let's like Dakota make an idiotic
Regardless, I like that Mark pointed out this incredible fact. This man has had 17 interceptions in 3 years. 17. Nobody's come close to that.
Are you kidding me?
Kevin Byard at number 3. I cannot believe you guys are sleeping on him so much.
I had him on my list.
I had him on my list too, but top 3? Are you fucking kidding me?
It's because he's on the Titans. You guys are looking down on him. Trust me. Dude's a baller.
Oh, my. Tell me the stats that I don't know. I've already had him in my top 10. We've already done this. Oh my God.
He had 99 attempts of a tackle. He only missed. Only 4 of them were either broken or missed. No one was even close to him in that ranking. Okay. He's quick.
Go ahead.
He can hit you in the mouth. He's probably one of the best hitters in the league. Great coverage, and he's a ball hawk. What is there not to love? And he's only 26. I don't know what you guys are sleeping on him for. Yet you think Minka is this god all of a sudden, and Badger is apparently like the best safety in the league. But go watch him, Kevin Byard.
God.
And I was gonna show some footage, but then I realized it was against the Giants, and so I didn't want to hurt myself there. But he made a flip of the hip, ended up turning around, batting a ball away on 4th and goal to win the game for the Titans. He makes plays. He's a hitter, and you guys sleep on him, but
listen, Minka and Matthew have been all pros more recently than Byard.
Yeah, this is idiotic.
Well, Matthew had an All-Pro last year, but I mean, Byard's 2017 was 8 interceptions, 87 combined tackles.
2017, we were all different people. I was graduating college from 2017.
Doesn't matter. His numbers are still 4 interceptions the year after, 5 interceptions the year after that.
Minka Fitzpatrick wasn't even in the league yet.
Exactly. What do you mean? Look, Kevin Byard, I've seen lists. I've seen lists where he's outside top 10. I've seen him inside top 10. I think he is heavily slept on. I think he's like in the same boat as Simmons. Guys who've been in the league for a couple years and nobody talks about them.
God.
Byard is a monster.
Listen, no disrespect to Kevin Byard. Don't get me wrong. I like him.
Byard.
I like him. I do. Top 3. Oh.
I will say the tackling stat was impressive. 99, hitting 95 of 99 tackles.
This guy just says Kevin Byard is top 3 and just drops the mic and disappears?
And just leaves.
What the hell is this? Wait, what about my stat? Justin Simmons was 3rd in tackling efficiency, even though he was the number 1 pass coverage.
I was impressed with that, too. Safety, I take into account tackling a lot, and I feel like people overlook that.
Of course you do. Of course.
Because safety, that's like my Earl Thomas thing. Like, your last line of defense. Like, I want you to be the most reliable person on the defense.
Of course.
Go watch some Kevin Byard highlights, and you'll understand.
Watched them. Listen, I've done my research. Don't worry about me.
What did you praise Minka Fitzpatrick on? Oh, he's a playmaker. All these interceptions. Kevin Byard had 17 picks in the last 3 years.
How many touchdowns did Byard have?
Who cares about touchdowns?
I do.
That's points.
How many did he have?
Wait.
Minka Fitzpatrick had 2 last year.
Okay.
Yeah. Minka Fitzpatrick had 5 interceptions last year. He's only been in the league for 2 years.
Oh, 5 interceptions? Kevin Byard had 5 interceptions.
Look, I can appreciate it. I think you defended it well, Gazelle. I can appreciate it for sure.
Thank you. This is why I didn't argue with him when you said 10. I think Mark said 10. Tim, you said 9. I didn't argue because I get it. But I like him a lot.
I will say here's
around the ball.
I will say I thought this 3 was going to be a lot worse than Kevin Byard. It's not the worst thing I ever heard. I'm okay with it. You're number 2. You're number 2. You are out of your mind.
Let's go to that.
Out of your mind on that one.
Let's go to number 2.
Out of your mind.
Wait, I don't think Mark said
I think you both have the same number 2, and you're both.
We do have the same number 2.
No, you're both.
You got number 2, Mark.
You're both.
All right, let me go to number 2 first. Before I say this,
you're an idiot.
My top 2, I believe these are the 2 consensus best safeties in the league for the next decade for sure.
Consensus for who?
All right, I hope you enjoyed that lovely little scene there.
So I do want to shout out your cast since they made an appearance in the last one. I because no one can see it, but there are times when I can see you're muted, and it's right as your cats are starting to meow and I guess growl at the moon and do whatever thing cats do, and each one of those times I'm like, oh great, now I got to ramble on about whatever I'm talking about for God only knows how long it takes Dr. Doolittle over here to settle down the jungle. But I think I've seen them come across. I've seen you pick them up out of the way. I've seen them come across you. It's pretty impressive to see you deal with the elements every time. It adds a spicy element to each one of these videos of unpredictability.
Honestly, most of the time I have to mute myself is because my dogs are barking. And
I know you got the whole jungle. I hear something go off, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
For reference, I have 3 cats. We have an older cat, Nico, and then my 2 little boys who are a year and a half now, Dio and Leo. And then Leo, the cat trio, for those wondering. That was his.
Look at that. Oh, that's cute. Nice.
And then I have 4 dogs, and they're all annoying. They're all small. They're toy poodle.
Wow.
There's toy poodle, Marcello, and then Chihuahuas, Stella, Teddy, and Claire. And then we have a what do you call it? Like a beta fish or whatever. The ones that eat the other fish.
Interesting. I didn't think the fish was the one messing up these recordings.
No,
you have a animal sanctuary. It's pretty impressive that you're able to film these each time. Amazing. We got the 50 episodes, and now you're just name dropping the animal.
Oh yeah, they they have to get credited for their voices, you know. So
it's true. They've made a bunch of appearances. They're like the guest stars.
Speaking of animal-like behavior, we had episode 8 was our conversation with we were talking cornerbacks, and Tim thought that Marcus Peters deserved to be. You had him at like 4, I think.
Stick to it. I thought all my reasonings was pretty fair. He didn't have a bad year.
Which this year he had a pretty good year, I would say.
Yeah, come on now. He didn't have a bad year.
He had like 2. He might have had like 2 pick sixes. But he had
a playmaker.
Here's the thing: he had a good year coming in. Like this 2020 season was good for him, but coming into it, like we were a little skeptical, you know. I think.
Hey, it
was
is
just fun.
4
it was
interceptions, 9 passes defended, 4 forced fumbles. You know, it's something. You know, he didn't get nearly as torched as he normally does.
It was just funny because me and Goldberg knew you were not. We were not going to be in agreement with what you were going to say, because I remember we talked about it, and I'll play the clip in a couple of seconds. But we had texted a couple of days before talking about who we liked, and I said to you, "How is Marcus Peters in PFF's top 3? He should not even be in. I was like, he will not be in my top 10 list." And then I forget what you said back, but we got to 4, and I realized how many corners were left, that our top 3 had to be, you know, Ramsey, Trey White, and Gilmore. And I was like, son of a bitch, I know who is number 4 here.
This is the correct.
So here, I'll play that clip for you guys right now. Look, I know I've said some sketchy things in my time, but I can't wait to hear your defense on this one guy coming up. I almost need to pull up notes just to combat you.
I have a guess. It's probably the next person.
I think it's the next person.
It's got to be the next person, because the next 3 should be pretty unanimous.
I think our top 3.
Wow. Neither of you had him in the top 10. Are you? Wow. Really?
I'm really excited for your defense, Tim. Please.
I can't wait to hear this.
Oh, this will be. Oh my God.
Hold on. Let me pull up his numbers real quick. I don't even need you. I know who he is. You don't even need to tell me. Let's see.
I'm just surprised. Like, I don't know what you guys are seeing that I'm not.
No, it's what are you seeing?
What are you seeing? We're not.
Oh boy. All right. You go whenever you're ready, Tim.
All right. Well, now I'm like kind of shocked that you don't have.
Alex and I have been on the same page the whole time. It's you that's been shooting nonsense all over the place.
All right. Well, you know,
I mean, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. All of a sudden, like, what's the next surprise?
I'll just talk with the accolades and stats first. I do have a highlight for him, by the way, so get excited.
Oh,
at least you have something to support the madness.
All right. So number 4.
Drum roll, please.
I've got Marcus Peters.
Oh, my God. Please tell me why he belongs in the top 10.
I threw him out of there.
I didn't even consider him.
Come on, give it to us.
Shocked that you guys don't have – I'm confused. I
texted you when we were talking about Peterson. I said, there's 2 people in PFF's top 3 that I did not have in my list. It was Marcus Peters and it was Quentin Dunbar, because they're good corners, sure, but they are not top 10.
No consistency in their game. I can't
exactly.
I can't just take one great year.
But go ahead, defend the Marcus Peters.
I'll get to that.
3 teams in like a year.
No one wants him.
Okay. All right. So, like you said, 3rd on Pro Football Focus. He was also a 2019 All-Pro and Pro Bowler.
Darius Slay was also like 45 on PFF, but go ahead.
He was an All-Pro Pro Bowler last year. The guy had – all right, this is my first interesting fact. So, okay, first off, because
at least they're interesting.
He's only had 1 good year. That's why in 2015, his rookie year, even better, he had 26 pass defenses.
I didn't say he only had 1 good year. I just said
Alex
bouncing around.
You'll get your time. Alex said he only wanted. No, it's good too. Remember that stat I said with Darius Slay? He was tied 4th all time ever with the most pass defense in the season. Marcus Peters is also tied for 4th with 26. Stephon Gilmore had 20 this year. Just
well, if you're not first, you're last. So go on.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Well, he's a 2-time All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler for the people at home that think he has only had 1 year. He is a playmaker. He had 3 touchdowns last year. Now that is equal to the same amount as Juju Smith-Schuster, Sammy Watkins, Darren Waller. He had more than Brandon Cooks, and he had the same amount of rushing touchdowns as Leonard Fournette. Now, you may have thought, wow, why is he saying all these names? They sound like they're on offense. How could a defensive player have more touchdowns than an offensive player?
He had 1 rushing touchdown.
Hey, listen,
he definitely didn't have more rushing touchdowns. He definitely had more touchdowns.
I didn't say Marcus Peters had rushing touchdowns. I said Leonard.
No, you said he had more rushing touchdowns.
Oh, my God. It was defensive touchdowns, obviously.
Okay.
All right.
You never know with you. It might not be obvious.
You're all comedians.
Already had that J.J. Watt year.
Yeah.
Okay, now hold on. Let me get back to some other stuff because he sucks. He's been on 3 teams. Boo hoo. The guy's not the best locker room person off the field.
That's a concern.
It was. Terrell Owens had a problem staying on teams, but he's still in the Hall of Fame.
Marcus Peters is not Terrell Owens.
Not first ballot.
So he's been in the league for 5 seasons. 27 interceptions in his career. That's, for the people at home that are struggling with their calculators, just a niched over 5 a year. 6 touchdowns in his career. Did you know that the record for most defense touchdowns in a career is 13? He's already nearly halfway there in 5 seasons.
I will say he had a very good year for him. It was just very odd that I thought it was a little bit of a stretch. This was like my OBJ pick, so to speak. It was a little out there, a little above what.
Well, which one of those aged better?
Fair enough. You got me there. One win for you, and then 100 losses.
Yeah, right. Being generous.
Another episode that Tim seemed to enjoy was when we were doing our Super Bowl predictions, and I was struggling mightily to do simple multiplication. I don't know what was happening. I might have been blacking out. Might have had a brain freeze. Might have forgotten math from first grade,
or how much a touchdown is worth.
But I could not evenly figure out, how many field goals and touchdowns I wanted each team to score, and I think it took me like 5 tries to come up with a real score. But
you're the person on the Super Bowl polls that are like know nothing about football, and they're like, "Yeah, this sounds like a good score. We'll go with that." And you're like, "Well, that doesn't logically make sense, but sure, yeah, I think it'll work out."
Yeah, but here you can have a listen for yourself at how dumb I am.
But I do think there's gonna be some points to be scored. I'm gonna say 31-24 Chiefs.
Okay, so I'm gonna go Chiefs as well. I'm gonna go Chiefs. Say like 30. 36, 31. Like keep that 5. I don't know if that even will add up correctly.
36, yeah, I was gonna say 36 does not sound like a normal football score, but you go ahead with that.
Let's say 35-30. 35-30.
Let's say 36. I think you need 3 touchdowns and about like 5 extra points.
Well, then 35 we would get.
Or not extra points, field goals, I mean.
So let's do 30. All right. 38-32. Does that make sense?
Sure.
38-32. Yeah, that doesn't make sense either.
I don't think that. Well, you know what? You stick with whatever works for you. You clearly weren't very good with 7 multiples in school, were you?
I mean, I didn't think I was gonna. This was very impromptu.
You were the one that asked the question.
I did. I did.
Setting yourself up for success there. I love it.
So let's say 20. So they score 4 touchdowns and 2 field goals for Pete, or 3 touchdowns. So let's say 27-35. Yeah. 35-27 Chiefs. That was painful. That took a lot.
I know.
All right. I hope you enjoyed my failure at math. Fun fact, the highest math I ever attained was, I think, 12th grade. I took accelerated geometry or something. But yeah, math is not my forte.
That would make sense. You're more shapes than numbers.
Sure. So I think that wraps up for our favorite like parts of episodes. I mean, obviously there's a lot of others. It's, you know, we have fun with every episode we do. It's fun to talk sports with anyone, and we appreciate all the guests that have come on over the past, and you know, we look forward to bringing on more guests and new guests and routine guests as we keep going. I will say one thing I really did enjoy was it was a bit of labor, but I did enjoy making the It's Always Sunny trailers for our top 10 players series. I will say this podcast did teach me a lot about Photoshop, Adobe After Effects, Adobe Premiere, iMovie, like audio editing and stuff. So it was cool. And then, you know, especially with quarantine when we were both pretty much unemployed, it was nice to still be able to like learn skills and stuff. And I think two of my favorite trailers were for episode 4, which was the one where you had the mustache. And then episode 6 when we did I think it was offensive tackles. So we had like Billy citing Packers.com.
Yeah.
But he said Bakhtiari was a 4-time All-Pro, and then I had pictures.
Yeah, 4-time All-Pro of GreenBayPackers.com.
And then I had pictures of Lane Johnson in a 6-pack, and it was a wild episode. But I'll play those two back to back for you. And so if you never saw them on our socials, this is what they sounded like.
You just make it seem more and more likely that I should start charging you for this. I'm almost thinking about kicking you off this podcast from going forward.
Situation.
One man show out here.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Time out. I didn't think we would get to 9, and I would question your sanity. Are you aware that Ryan Ramczyk was a first-team All-Pro last year? Or
Tim, don't give it all away. Bakhtiari has 4 straight All-Pro seasons.
Where did you pull that out of your ass?
Bakhtiari All-Pro, Packers.com. So maybe
Packers.com?
Someone lied to me that he was 4-time.
Of course they had him as a 14 All-Pro.
The man has a 6-pack, and he's an offensive lineman.
In a Zoom call with 3 other guys, you were going to bring up an offensive lineman shirtless 6-pack. The difference between my argument points and Dakota. That looks like someone you want to babysit your daughter and possibly date.
You look like an ugly Ron Jeremy.
Alden Smith, 19 and a half sacks in 2012. What has he done since?
Alden Smith.
A lot of DUIs.
Yeah, he's a superstar that just can't get the hell away from like himself.
What are you drinking over there?
M43 IPA.
Say WD-40.
M43. I think it has a sediment warning in the system, so you got to roll.
So you're gonna pass out in the middle of this conversation?
Who the hell? Like who's on the Cardinals defense? Like he's puts up numbers on one.
Some Temple linebacker, I think.
Giselle just letting me get ripped on my clowning selection when he had the same exact one. He's just sitting there in silence, letting me get ripped up. Then Chubb, then Judon.
Oh, wait your turn. Josh is up first.
I know. Well, hey, I'm just, looking at myself, getting myself together.
7.
Okay.
I mean, you wait your turn.
Go ahead.
He hasn't done anything.
I think you're focusing too much on stats. He's not really a stat guy.
You're the stat guy, too.
Yeah, you're the stat guy. You did like merciless because you're like a stats.
At 31, I want the one that you said the better one.
What was your word you just used? 31, not that old, not that young. Arrogant, you made it seem like he was in a walker.
All right, I hope you enjoyed those little "It's Always Sunny" clips. Yeah, they were fun to make. So, I when I went back and looked at them this past week, I was cracking up because I think they're pretty funny. But so another thing we did on social media that I really liked was for our running back episode with Nick. Beforehand, I did a running back voting poll on my personal Instagram. And that was like super cool because I really expected like 5 to 10 people to vote. Because I must have had like 30, like 20 to 30 matchups. So there was a lot of voting to be done. And I had 50 to 70 votes on every single one. And I was like, this is incredible. It was super cool. Like I reached out to some people too who like I haven't talked to in a while, and I was like, thanks for voting. Like it helps with our episode and our discussions, and it was cool.
That's probably a good strategy for you going forward. It would probably help your rankings a little bit, seem a little more legitimate, get an outside opinion.
It was cool to see what the public top 10 running back list would have looked like, and I mean, naturally they had Miles Sanders in there, which I think he'll crack top 10 this year. We'll see. But it was fun. And then another post of I think my personal favorite was the NBA midseason awards one. I made basically like trading card style midseason awards for all of the players. So we had obviously Joel Embiid, we said he was our midseason MVP. Who was it? Ben Simmons was defensive player of the year. Clarkson as 6 man, Julius Randle as comeback. Forget who we had as coach. We had LaMelo as rookie, and then was it the Jazz or the Suns coach we had as?
I believe it was Quinn Snyder.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun, and the Joel Embiid, if you didn't get to see it, basically I made a rotating card, which like it basically played like a looping video of Joel Embiid, and it was really fun to like I just Googled a YouTube tutorial on how to make it, and it was cool. I had fun doing it. It took only a couple hours, and it was fun to post, and people really liked it. So people reached out to me and said it looked dope. So that made me happy. And then the last one that comes to mind is the obvious one of Tim signed a lifetime contract with.
That was pretty good. That was a nice surprise because I didn't know you were pulling that one out. That was pretty good. I like that. That hit me in my feels. I appreciate you for that.
That day was a wild day for me because I was out.
Wild day for you. I'm sorry. I had a couple other things going on. I'm sorry.
I mean, for managing the podcast, because first of all, we had the Eagles announce their coaching hire, and I was not expecting it that day because it was like a Thursday or Friday.
You weren't expecting. I was on my knee and I saw it pop on my phone. I was like, it's just got to be a joke.
And I was out at Tyler State Park. I was going for a run, and I saw it come across on my Twitter. It must have been Twitter, or like Nick or my friend Bobby might have texted me. And then I had to obviously stop what I was doing, like look this up, like who the hell did we hire? Try to find live reactions to it to see what people are saying. And then almost simultaneously, I found out that you proposed to your fiance Charlotte, and I was like, "What the hell is going on today?" And I was like, "All right." I was like, "I got to make a post for the Eagles hiring Sirianni. And I was like, immediately thought I should make a post for Tim and say that he got, a contract extension or whatever." And so that was fun. It was fun to make it on the fly, but.
That was good. I liked it. It was very nice. It was well put together and well thought out. I had no idea what was coming.
Yeah, that was. I had no idea it was coming. So,
one last thing I wanted to say. Big shout out, because this literally 1 through 50, none of it would have been possible without your hard work. I bring the facts and the knowledge and the excitement on the video, but you put so much work in the back. I see it. I don't know if everyone else appreciates it, but you do a wonderful job. I got to say. This would have never even come close to hitting 50 without your hard work. So hats off to you, sir. I do appreciate what you do, because I'm pretty much useless in behind the scenes. And that isn't being, like over exaggerating. I am pretty much useless when the camera goes off. So all hats off to you, because this literally would have never been possible without you.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. And like I said, it's taught me a lot of things too. So I didn't mind doing it. And especially when we started quarantine, like, gave me something to do. So
I hear it. Listen, me too. I'm a big fan. I spent an hour debating top 10.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and just to end this episode, Tim and I forget who, I think I initiated the text, but
like I said none of this would have been possible without you. I mean, you sent the first text too.
I texted Tim back in like May, and I was like, hey, so remember when we were in college, and we used to do our, we used to do power rankings, and we used to rank players like back when like Calvin Johnson was playing.
How seriously we were taking our classes.
We literally did it in the middle of our writing class, and we were terrible students for that class because it was 90% football, 10% literature. But yeah, and then I was like, hey, you want to do a podcast? And the rest is history.
Here we are, episode 50, baby.
And then on that note, of course, thank you to everyone who continues to listen, support us by liking the posts, sharing with friends, and of course we got some some merch here and there, t-shirts, hoodies, hats.
Love it.
Thank you to Alex and also Caesar. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, who recently bought hats and they look fly, and I'm happy that people are enjoying them. So I think, like I said, this was cool. 50th anniversary of our podcast, or 50th episode. I'm not really anniversary, but
but hey, cheers to 50 more.
Cheers to 50 more with my iced coffee. And what the hell are you drinking?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little vodka and something.
Vodka and something.
It's a 5-hour time difference between us. We're in different wavelengths here.
Yeah, Tim is in, and we were international. Tim is in London once again. So
bringing the exotic to the show.
Good times. But like I said, thank you everyone for listening and supporting, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace
out.
Peace.